Hey, welcome. Look, if you've ever thought about learning Mandarin and your first thought was just mountains of flashcards, I've got some really good news for you. There's a much better way. We're about to unlock the simple, logical system that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time.
So you want to learn some Mandarin, right? You go online, you see these videos, 400 essential phrases you must know, and your heart just sinks a little. You're thinking, I have to memorize all of that? It feels like this massive uphill battle before you've even started.
Well, what if I told you you don't? You absolutely do not need to memorize hundreds of individual phrases. What you need to do is learn the system. Because once you see the pattern, the simple logic behind it all, you can build thousands of sentences completely on your own.
Okay, so let's dive right in. The absolute best way to think about Mandarin is to picture a box of Legos. Seriously, you have all these different types of blocks, those are your words, and all you need to learn is the super simple way they snap together.
And here is the absolute best part. The basic instruction manual is one you already know. It's just subject, verb, object. I like tea. He reads books. This simple structure is the foundation for so much of the language. We're not talking complex verb conjugations or weird word orders you have to memorize. It's incredibly straightforward.
All right, talk is cheap. Let's actually see how this works. We're going to start with the absolute basics. Just introducing people and making some really simple statements.
Here they are, our first most essential Lego blocks, the pronouns. You've got 我 for I, 你 for you, and 他 for he. These little guys are going to be the foundation for pretty much everything we build today. So, the very first piece we need is the subject. This is the who of our sentence. For our first example, let's go ahead and use 他, which means he.
Next up, we need a verb, our action block. The verb shay is one of the most useful ones you'll ever learn. It basically means am, is, or are. Think of it as our main connector piece.
And finally, we need the object. This is the what of the sentence. Let's use 中国人, which just means Chinese person. Okay, now for the fun part. Let's just snap them together in order. Subject, verb, object. 他是中国人. He is Chinese. And just like that, you've built your first perfectly grammatical Mandarin sentence. See? Easy. So what if you want to say he isn't Chinese? Well, it's actually unbelievably simple. You just add one tiny little block, 不, which means not or no, and you pop it right before the verb. So 是 becomes 不是. That's it. It's a simple, repeatable rule that works every time. All right, so you can make statements and you can make them negative. Now let's turn those statements into questions. And again, you're going to see it's all about just adding or swapping out a single block. Okay, this first method is almost laughably easy. To turn a basic statement into a yes or no question, you just stick the little particle ma on the very end. The rest of the sentence doesn't change one bit. So, 你好, you are good, becomes 你好吗, how are you? Simple as that.
Now, for more complicated questions, you'll use question words, like what or who. But here's the magic trick. You don't have to flip the sentence around like we do in English. You just replace the piece of the sentence you're asking about with the question word. That subject, verb, object structure, it stays right where it is.
Let's look at a classic example here. What is your name? In Mandarin, it's literally, you are called what name? Just look at that structure. You, subject, are called, verb, what name, object. The question word, 什么, just slots right into the object spot. The system holds up perfectly.
So now that we've got the basic framework down, let's add a little bit of personality, right? Let's talk about how to say what you like and what you want.
To do this, we just need a couple of new verb blocks. We've got 喜欢 for to like and 想 for to want.
And here's the crucial point. You don't need to learn a new grammar rule. These new verbs drop right into that exact same subject-verb-object pattern we've been using this whole time. 我, I, plus 喜欢, like, plus 茶, tea. 我喜欢茶. It's the same system. We're just using new blocks.
Okay, time to put our new skills to the test. We're going to look at what might seem like a more complex phrase, and I'm going to show you how it's really just a combination of all the simple rules we've already learned.
Here it is, our final sentence. 你喜欢喝什么? Now, at first glance, that might look a little intimidating. But I promise, you already have every single tool you need to figure this out.
Let's just break it down piece by piece. Ni is you, our subject. Easy. Then we have a couple of verbs. Xiguan is like, and he is to drink. Yeah, you can just stack those verb blocks together. And what's at the end? Our question word, 什么, what, which is acting as our object. You like to drink what? See? The fundamental logic is exactly the same.
And that, right there, is the big aha moment. It's not about memorizing that whole phrase. It's about seeing that every sentence is just a combination of these simple, reusable, logical Lego blocks. Once you know the patterns, you can pretty much build anything you want. So you've unlocked the system. You now see the Mandarin isn't some scary, intimidating list of phrases you have to memorize. It's a logical structure that you can play with and build with. So really the only question left is, now that you know how it works, what do you want to build? What are you going to say first?